are the best tools. Yes.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ultimate Deck Show. Shane Chapman and Wade Laurent here again today. Yeah, you're back finally.
Killed it. Right?
I've been showing up a lot lately.
Took the whole summer off.
Once in the last 6 months. We've been doing a lot of videos. These show-style videos where we have a little bit of fun and we take a little bit more time to go through things, and we've been mostly talking about brand-specific products, or last week we did a great hidden fastener video, so if you haven't watched that, you want to find out how you put down all this composite and PVC deck stuff, watch last week's video, episode 9 I believe it was.
It was a good one.
It was on point.
Yeah.
Got a lot of great feedback on that one.
I even watched a couple minutes of it. It looked good.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Hopefully it was the right couple minutes, because there was a couple of real doozies in there. It was good. Anyway, today we thought we'd take a step back. Not a step back. Just like...
It's back because it was on the podcast.
Focus the scope. Yeah, maybe you can find a lot of this content on the podcast too, just differently, because there's no visual for it.
Yeah.
So we talk about it a little bit differently. Today we're going to not talk about any specific brand. We're going to talk about what the differences are between composite and PVC decking. Because if you're in the market for shopping for a maintenance-free deck, then you're probably looking at these two options, because these are the two big dogs in the low maintenance-free category of decking.
Yep.
So,
are there other dogs? Like you said, there's two big dogs. Are there little dogs in there?
There's a lot of different types of dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people are
like
one.
cedar would be maintenance free?
No.
No?
Well, could be, I suppose, but I was thinking more like aluminum would be one. We're not going to talk about aluminum today, but aluminum or vinyl sheet or something like that. That stuff's...
Aluminium.
Yeah, aluminium. Okay, here's a good tie-in. I didn't tell you this part of the show, but because you just went and said aluminum the British way,
yeah,
I thought today, just to spice this up, because it's not, like, we're not talking about one brand, so there's not going to be any zingers in it. I thought today we could have a little bit of fun around how Canadians and the rest of the world says composite versus how Americans say composite, and thought maybe we'll pull this guy off the shelf. And we're gonna say composite the American way this whole show, and if you slip up, you eat a what? Dog food,
rotten egg,
or a puke, or whatever it is.
Man.
So if you haven't played Bean Boozled before, these jelly beans taste like pure. They're not good. A lot of them are not good.
Like they taste exactly like spoiled milk.
Yeah. Some of them are okay.
Okay, well, whatever.
Some of them not so okay.
Is what it is.
So.
Do you want me to leave that there?
Oh no, you need that here. I'm hoping you're gonna need that.
Fine.
So, let's get started. The two main, we missed one sample.
I'll be talking less during this show than you would.
We missed one sample we should have brought in here, and that was an uncapped composite. And so,
because we don't have them in the store.
It's because we don't carry a lot of them, or any of them. But traditionally, a composite, in Generation 1, a composite,
2 times, actually. Bang, bang.
Right off the start, hey? Oh, being Canadian's so good sometimes, and then other times...
Ooh, you got 2. Okay.
Yeah, so here we go. I don't even know what this one's going to be. It looks like moldy cheese or caramel corn. Let's give that a shot. Oh, that's moldy cheese. That
one's not that bad.
That is not a great
moldy
start.
Cheese is not bad.
It's not good.
It's not bad.
It's not a good start.
Nope.
And now you gotta wait for me to chew this one down so I can do my next one.
Should rinse it out.
Which is spoiled milk or coconut.
Coconut for sure.
Ugh.
Have you ever had a spoiled milk one?
I
haven't.
I don't know that I have, but I think I've had real spoiled milk before too.
Yeah,
not good
that's
either.
bad.
Anyways, so coconut. We're good to go again. Back on track. Okay, so traditionally, you should be talking. I just want to do it again. I caught myself.
I started laughing because I knew you were going to do it.
Traditionally, a composite deck board was recycled plastic or some component of plastic and wood fiber or sawdust mixed together and extruded through a extruder.
Yeah. And if you don't know what an extruder is, Google it.
Yeah. It's like Play-Doh getting pushed through a mold.
Yeah, sure, that'll work. Yep, done.
So they melt the plastic down, mix it with the wood, push it through, boom, you got a composite deck board. And the problem with how they used to make that stuff is that the wood core component of it was exposed to the sun, to the rain, to the mold, to
barbecue sauce,
barbecue sauce,
wine,
everything.
I've never spilled wine on a deck.
Spilled milk?
Spoiled
milk? Spilled spoiled milk? So what a lot of companies unfortunately found out the hard way was that didn't work really well. The sun ate away at that.
Well, some of them had the board actually break apart.
Yes, we've seen a few
Right?
people. Yeah, we've seen a few people in the store that have had warranty claims because their Generation 1 composite deck board from 10, 15 years ago was flaking off on the top. Like,
Who
that was
showed
one
that
of the-
picture? Sundeck Solutions had a picture of that, right?
There was a few of them out there, yeah, on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So anyway, they faded like crazy. Today you bought a brown deck board, and in a couple of years it was just like a light
Taupe.
beige.
Taupe beige.
And then if you bought a gray one though, a couple of years it would be light beige.
Yeah.
You bought a red one when that finally came out, and in a couple of years it would be light beige.
Yeah.
So they would all fade like crazy. Your barbecue spits a little grease on the deck, and they would stain instantly. You had no shot to clean that up. It would just stain as soon as it hit it. The wood would kind of absorb moisture sometimes and swell and cause the flaking. The sun would eat away at it. Like, they just didn't perform super well.
Not good.
So
Was not good.
Fibron was the first to do this, I believe. Came out with the idea of like, hey, we need to protect the core of this stuff a little bit better. So let's put a capped layer over top, a cap stock on top of it that's going to protect the core of the board from the sun, the rain, the mold, the barbecue grease, etc. Put some UV inhibitors in it, so we have a 25-year fade and stain warranty. And Bob's your uncle, we got a good product now. And so those have been doing great for the last, 10 years-ish.
Yeah, everybody followed suit.
Everybody makes them like that now. There's a couple brands still out there that still make the old Generation 1 stuff because they didn't have the failures, but they still very, very much have the fading and staining issues. And
is what it is.
why would you want that?
Because you can router the edges.
Why would you want that?
That's the big reason I've heard. Oh, I can router the edges.
The only redeeming quality of those traditional composites is that they were... Caught myself
This is amazing.
in that one. You need to get in on this. I'm
not
taking that one
saying
because that's a blue one.
I'm not saying the word. That's a
This is
toothpaste.
toothpaste. That's the good one.
Yeah,
Toothpaste
or
or
you had spoiled milk.
blueberry or something.
Doesn't matter. That's a winner. And then grass.
That's a toothpaste. You know what? That one, after eating spoiled milk,
No, you had
is
coconut.
fine by me.
You had the cheese one.
moldy cheese.
Yeah.
I'll take a toothpaste.
Brush my teeth. Boom.
So anyway, where were we? I was talking about
Why would you even have that?
the only redeeming quality about a non-capped composite was that the color generally was through the entire board. So if you cut the ends, if you saw the ends, it was still kind of generally the same color as the rest of the board.
No, it was lighter.
Usually
Because it was
lighter.
dark on top, but then in 2 years when it all faded to the core color, then it was... Anyways.
Be about the same color.
We've spent
So-
too much time on this product. I don't want
We
to
have spent too much time.
Move on.
Anyway, that's the only pushback you get from some contractors. Like, well, because I could leave the ends cut open and I could router the edges and make it look nice. It's like, do a picture frame. That's how things are done these days.
Yeah.
With a board that looks better, gives you better warranty, better quality, no fading and staining. Like, come on, and cheaper half the time.
A few of them are.
You're right. We spent too much time. So, composites come in a variety of shapes, sizes, brands. The big three brands here are Trex is number one. Everybody's heard of Trex.
Everybody
If you've
knows that.
done any research, you've heard of Trex. TimberTech is the number 2 big brand. Fibron's number 3. And we also have some decorators here, which I would call a big time up and comer right now.
Yes.
With their decorators product. They've got some really cool stuff going on there too. So
They have a different composite than...
yeah, why don't we start? Let's just go left to right on this thing.
Done deal.
This board here
I feel like Vanna White.
is from TimberTech. I'm kind of doing the Vanna thing too. This is silver. Now every brand has kind of a good, better, or best.
Yeah.
In Fibron's case, it's like a good, better, betterest, better, gooder, bestest. The the capped composite.
Oh,
You
that
can
was
see
close.
in the end of that board. There you can see all that wood fiber. At least I hope you can. I'm going to show you the Trex one too, so you can see a little bit better. But in TimberTech's case, their entire lineup, asterisks in 2019 that changed, but their entire lineup has that cap, that protective layer going all the way around the board. So it's protecting the top, through the groove of the board where the fasteners go, over the bottom, and surprisingly up the other side again. And then it's like
they
one
didn't
big
stop.
sheath around here.
Yeah.
They didn't stop it.
Protected all the way
Awkwardly
around.
inside of it.
Had it.
So why is that good? Well, it's good because if you install this stuff where you're going to have some humidity on the bottom of the board or something to that effect, low to the ground, that's the bottom of the board's also protected. Also, if you're a real idiot and you install it upside down, it's okay.
Channels water.
Water drainage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean your feet off. Like bang your feet off.
That's right.
Mud stays in
Yeah.
here.
Speed
instead.
channels. So is it required to have the bottom of the board capped? No, most brands don't do that. It's not necessary in all scenarios, but there's a couple scenarios where it's probably a good thing that it is capped. But TimberTech just does it all the way around because it's their thing. They like to say that it's
their advantage.
It's fully protected.
Competitive advantage.
Correct.
Fully
They came out with their Edge line this year that doesn't have the capping in the bottom because they were going for a super low price point. So they just, they didn't put the capping on the bottom because that capping is the most expensive part of the content of this board.
I find hitting them with a forklift is the most expensive part.
That is very true. That is very true.
Next.
So we're just going to show one from fiber.
Composite.
Next. You have
killing
to
it.
slip up at least once.
I'm saying it like maybe 5 times this
You
show.
have to talk more. This is yours.
Nope.
Have at her. I'm going to sit here
Alright,
and drink my
so-
coffee and wait for you to slip up.
Fibron, a very similar style, similar profile. The scalloping isn't as deep.
So that's what you're going to notice on some composite deck boards is the scallops. What he just called scallops is this material that's removed, these channels. You saw it on the TimberTech one as well. That's just purely a way to reduce cost, reduce the amount of material that's in the board. It's called scalloping.
Scalloping. You bought scallops yesterday.
I did buy scallops yesterday.
So good. All right, so
The
these
fish guy came to our door.
these guys-
trunk full of fish. It's weird.
they cap Fibron caps on 3 sides with this line. This is a good lifeline. So they cap on 3 sides, then they cut the channel in. So really, your cap only makes it a third of the way down on the edge, right? Maybe half.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of this bottom half of that side cap is.
Well, that's where they tie
write
it
their
in,
stuff.
right? So, anyways, capped on the top, capped on the side, channel cut in for the hidden fasteners, and then the bottom is uncapped. And like we were saying before, I don't know that that's a huge advantage or not. So,
Great job, Wade. 0 slip-ups. Sit down.
like they're
was
actually not even
ridiculous.
that bad. I don't. I'm not scared. I'm going to slip up. I just
Well,
don't.
Okay, so why don't I talk about the deck boards and you just snack while we do this video.
Yeah.
We'll watch for your reaction.
Yeah.
Now,
What
not
else is there to say about that?
not much, but this is Fibron's entry level, and so it's got the scalloping in it. Most brands' entry level products do have a scalloping, or they've got
There's
some way
something.
of reducing costs.
I didn't grab the Trex entry level board, but
Well,
theirs is a
Trex's
little bit
entry level is
thinner.
also scalloped, or
Well,
unless
that's
you go
a
with
new
the
one.
select line, which is then 7/8 of an inch thick instead of 1 inch. So everybody's got a way of reducing the amount of material that's in the board.
A shtick.
You've seen some of those like really, really low cost boards. Speed
holes.
like holes right drilled through them, and
So then we can do Fibron's higher end board.
yeah. So let's
Move to
show
that?
the entry level and then the high level.
Because that's what we have,
Yeah.
basically.
Look at that.
All right, so capped on front side, capped on back side.
And usable cap on both sides.
Usable cap on both sides. So what is the advantage of this? Reduced waste when you're cutting miters for stairs. Cut your miter, flip the board over, away
Yeah,
you
you
go.
don't lose that extra 6 inches. Yeah.
In case you have some scratches on this side, no
Yeah.
big deal. Flip the board over.
Sure.
This side is less scratched, so you'll use it.
Yeah.
Right? Not good for forklift dings, right? If it gets hit with a forklift, it's still wrecked.
Yeah. Well, if you tag it really good, it's still wrecked for sure. But point
What
is, some of the higher end products have the full. Not only do they have the cap all the way around, but it's finished on both sides too. And what I mean by that is it's so you saw on the first board, the TimberTech, it was capped all the way around, but the backside was not usable. This one you could flip and use because it's got the embossing on both sides, it's got the coloring on both sides. Both sides are identical, so you can flip that and use it. To Wade's point, if it's damaged on one side, or if you need to cut miters and you just want to be more efficient with the material, well then you're
There you
okay. Sure. And here's an example of one that's not finished on both sides. TimberTech's Legacy line, beautiful product.
This is espresso.
They have it, it's again capped all the way around because it's TimberTech's thing, but the backside's not usable. It's capped, it's protected, but it's just that solid brown color. So it looks okay, but it's not reversible. You can't flip that over if you damage it or whatever.
Right. What was the story we heard about this? The reason they had the capping on the backside of this composite board? Killing it. So when you're on the rooftop deck,
somebody said this.
you look up, it's all the same color.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
I think that's a bogus thing that somebody made up.
Come on.
Maybe it's real. But you can see all the framing and whatever.
It's the same color as your framing.
Sure. Trex is good. Here's one you can really see the wood fibers in the back of the board. So all those little flecks that you're seeing there is the wood, the recycled wood component to any composite decking. And everybody's got their own formulation of how big those wood fibers should be and what shape they should be and what kind of wood they should be.
Yeah, that's right.
And theirs is right and everybody else's is wrong.
Dummies.
Crazy.
Right.
But moral of the story is it's in there as a filler to reduce cost again. And they claim it adds strength as well, as opposed to just being straight recycled plastic. The wood, I don't know if it's the linear nature of the wood fibers that give it strength, I don't know, but that's what you're trying to protect. This is what an old generation composite looked like, just with some coloring in it for 2 weeks. And then it would fade out and it would be gone. But Trex caps the top side only and the top half of the groove. That's their formulation, and because of that,
and there's a sealer on the back side of that, right?
I don't know, but seems like there is.
Yeah, there's some sort of treatment.
Seems like they do some sort of treatment. Wouldn't know. Never been to the plant.
Longest running joke of all time.
No. So those TimberTech Trex Fibron, all made very similarly. They all use like HDPE recycled plastic, which is the plastic that comes out of your milk jugs and that might be a Canadian thing right there. I don't know that they sell milk in jugs down in the States. It might just be all
in bags.
They don't do it in bags, that's for sure.
Paper water box
bottles. There's a Canadian joke for everybody. But there's a recycled component. So like maybe laundry soap containers would be a good one. Like kind of more sturdy plastics, high density polyethylene plastic mixed in with wood fiber. Everybody's got their own recipe, all generally the same kind of idea. All extruded the same way, embossed kind of the same way. But there's some products out there, composites, that are made a little bit differently. And so we're going to talk about one of them. There's some out there too that use like bamboo as a filler or rice hulls or different things as fillers. Then there's decorators.
Held it upside down.
How is it upside down? Well, I wasn't going to show that part. Now you've called me out, now I got to show it this way. Decorators does things a little bit differently. They call it mineral dust in the core of the board as a filler instead of wood. So it's not organic. It's like, I don't know, stone?
Stone's organic, isn't it?
Stone is not. Well, now you've confused me.
Where does it come from?
Now I don't know what the definition of organic is.
Yeah.
But they use a different kind of filler, which is not organic. So this can be used like in the ground in water. There's no requirements for ventilation like there is with these other brands. Trex requires 6 inches under the bottom of the joist of clearance for ventilation because of their uncapped backside of the board. They don't want that staying wet. Fibron requires, I think it's 1.5 inches. TimberTech, off the top of my head, I don't recall. They've probably got a requirement as well, but being capped all sides, probably less of an issue for them.
Certainly.
Decorators, being that there's zero, or they say it's organic. Somebody looked this up.
Scientists.
Content
Who might have challenged them?
To erode away or eat away or like
mold
or whatever.
Or some of them will, like the wood fiber will take on that moisture and swell.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, it doesn't take up any water or anything too, because
Yeah.
it's a stone ground up in there, or stone dust in there.
Yeah.
So, very cool
Decks and docks.
way to do it.
That's
Also, again, haven't been to the plant. Can't just pick on Trex. Haven't been to these guys' plant either. But we only started carrying these guys like a couple months ago, so
settle down.
give them some time.
They might not even know who we are.
They've done some great things for us, so I'm not going to call them out too aggressively yet, but still haven't been.
Yeah, you got 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years? Anyway.
We've had Trex before.
Yeah, so where was I going with this? What I've heard, rumor is it's extruded differently. They call it a pultrusion.
Yeah.
And I think, so instead of mixing a bunch of material together and pushing it out the mold, this stuff is stretched, like pulled and stretched, like bubblegum. Ha! That's a great analogy. Mm-hmm. Like bubblegum. And I've never even been there. And I feel like that's a great analogy. Anyways, this stuff's pulled and stretched, which gives it a linear, like, wood fiberish core to it. We've peeled one of these things apart, and it took like 4 guys and a couple axes to do it.
We should have taken a video of that when we ripped it apart. Maybe
Yeah.
we could post a picture someday.
And it looks like wood. right? Like it's like, and this stuff's impossible to break. You hit it, like it's super strong. Now we're getting a little bit into pumping deckers, tires a little bit too much, but
it's a different way of thinking of composites.
Different way, yeah.
They did it, and
They don't all have to be made same. Composite as a word. Oh, I did that by accident. I didn't even like have to think about that. I just said it like that.
Nailed it.
As a word, it just means it's like made up of more than one thing. It's like a couple or few things
Combined.
mixed together, combined,
You combine
composed of.
Yep.
Great. So it doesn't have to be wooden, plastic, you can do whatever.
Composites.
Here, you know what? This is absolute crap that you haven't done this yet.
Killing
so just
it.
like
I shouldn't have to do that.
no,
because you
you're
suck.
gonna. Nope. You're gonna feast on that dead fish, please. Dead fish. Dead fish. I'm gonna enjoy it.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you.
No, that wasn't
Glad
dead
you
fish.
got it.
That's barf. For sure, that's barf.
Barf. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Don't act like you haven't tasted that in the last week or so. How many
I
times have you rolled him home at 3 a.m?
None.
None?
Yeah.
0.
Good week.
Good for you.
Yep.
Now, so that's basically composite decking as a whole. That's 4 brands we talked about, different ways of making it, etc.
They're all the same.
They all have
Similar,
generally
they're all similar.
about 25-year warranties on the good brands. If you find something that has less than a 25-year warranty on fading and staining and structural, I would say avoid it, because you want that. You're buying this stuff for a maintenance-free life, and you're spending the extra money on composite decking, and you want it to last, and you shouldn't have to worry about the deck board on top failing before the framing underneath does. So if they don't guarantee it for at least 25 years, I would probably keep looking, to be quite honest.
Yep.
Some of them have more. TimberTech has their warranties tiered now, so they've got 25, 30-year, and then 50-year on their PVC board, which we'll talk about. The rest of these guys are all 25 years, I think. Fiberon, TimberTech, Trex, Fiberon Trex, 25-year, fade, stain, and structural. So they're guaranteeing it's not going to fade more than your eye can see. They're guaranteeing. Just on general slip-ups too? Fine.
That wasn't even close.
You should look up what that one is. So if it fades or stains, they replace your decking. So that's good.
Go for
It's
it.
pinky with red bumps. Ugh.
That's dead fish.
I have no idea what that is. It's neither good nor bad.
Strawberry banana smoothie or
Nope.
dead fish?
Yeah, it's not. It's neither of those.
Barf or peach?
It's not as good as smoothie, and it's not as bad as dead fish. It's just like a neutral, like, that's okay.
We got the nothing one. Good.
All right,
PVCs.
PVC decking. The difference between composite and PVC, and the big brand in PVC decking is AZEK. That's the one. If you've heard of one, it's probably AZEK. Other players in that space.
Some people call it Aztec.
Aztec probably more often than AZEK actually.
Yeah.
Other players are like AZEK, Wolf is a big one, Vecadec, Tivadec, Clubhouse. Help me out here. There's a few other ones out there, I'm sure.
Gossamer.
I think Gossman's gone.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And then
There's one that started with an E I was trying to think of too.
Interplast.
So there's a few out there. We'll talk about 2 of the bigger ones that we're familiar with. So AZEK is the big brand. Now PVC decking, how it differs from composite from a makeup standpoint is that there's no fillers in them whatsoever.
Correct.
There's no wood filler, there's no stone filler, there's no nothing. It's 100% PVC all the way through the board. So as a result of that, I think they cost a little bit more because there's just the recycled content's not there.
Yeah, it's not recycled plastic.
Yeah.
It's organic.
So it's all virgin plastic.
Right. Yep.
And it's made a little bit differently. So whereas we talked about this stuff being mixed together with the filler and the plastic and extruded through, this stuff is actually using a chemical reaction. You melt down the PVC and it gets injected with a foaming agent that causes the plastic to foam into the mold, and then it goes through, gets cooled down, hardens, and that's your finished shape. But that's why you're probably not gonna be able to see this in the camera. But that's why the core of that board doesn't have any wood fiber, but it does have like little microscopic bubbles in it. Cellular structure. It's called cellular PVC. And so those little tiny holes they're there for strength, but they also have the side benefit of they need less material and they're a little bit more porous, which means that the board weighs less and can dissipate heat a little bit better.
Cools off faster.
So, and I don't want to confuse that. They get just as hot in the sun as a composite does. It's just that they cool off faster and they stay cooler in the shade.
And
This is like
today.
distracting.
Love
Yeah,
it.
you're just in here to monitor
That's
me.
it.
What's that one? That's yo. That one really. Oh, that's dead fish.
Nope. You chew
That's
that
dead
down.
fish, 100%.
You chew that down.
Yeah.
This is such
That
fun.
one's not good.
We did this in Baltimore. Oh, that's so good.
Ugh. That's one of the worst ones. Maybe not the worst.
Dead
It's
fish
bad.
and barf are so bad. Yeah.
Okay. Canadian moment. Tim Hortons. Okay, so back to decking. That stays with you.
They're
That
all
stays with you.
hot.
Yeah, they all
Cools
get
off
hot.
faster.
Nobody cools off. Nobody stays cold. Nobody stays cool right now. Yet. There's some claims out there with some, we've tested them, they don't stay nearly as cool as they claim they do. So, like, if you run into a board that claims it stays cool, shoot us a message, let us know what it is. And we'll tell you, one, if that's a load of crap or not, and two, if we're not sure, we'll find out. Because if there's a board out there that does that, that's amazing.
Send it to us.
Yeah, we'll want it. So PVC boards. So the different type of plastic too. They're PVC plastic, polyvinyl chloride instead of the high density polyethylene plastic of the composites. PVC by nature is a harder plastic, and therefore generally most brands are more scratch resistant than their composite counterparts. Now, I would say not always the case because Trex's Transcend line is quite durable to scratching. It's pretty tough. 5-1's Good Life line is pretty good as well. Definitely a little bit softer than the Trex line, though. I would say the most durable composite that I've run into would be Trex, and Deckers is pretty durable as well as far as scratching goes. Deckers would win as far as like blunt force trauma.
Yep.
Like you could build a grill out of it on your truck and go bush hauling and you'd be just fine.
Yep. I should do that this winter.
PVCs generally have better scratch resistance, but there's some brands out there that do scratch a little bit easier, I've noticed. So, but the cool thing with them too is you get out a heat gun, you heat it up, and the memory like expands back into the scratch and it's gone. It's crazy stuff. The other thing that seems to be universally featured in PVC boards that isn't so much in composites is slip resistance.
Traction.
The traction is fantastic on pretty much all PVC boards.
Yep.
Decorator's Voyage line has that enhanced traction. It's also got incredible traction. As good or better than some of the PVC boards.
Correct.
But that's not a common composite thing. Most of them are a little bit slick, especially when wet.
Yep.
This one happens to be Wolf, where we talked about AZEC here. This is the one that has the 50-year warranty. So TimberTech is throwing a 50-year warranty. I'm going to block you right out.
Yeah.
TimberTech has a 50-year warranty on their boards now.
Yeah.
Not finished on the back. The color is there, but the embossing and whatnot is not. And so that's
Usable one side.
one way to do it, usable one side. Wolf is an example of one that's finished on both sides. So you could actually flip the board, and that is dirty on the back of that, hey?
It looks like people have taken that one to the parking lot.
Yeah, and left it in the rain for a day. Anyway, so this one's reversible. Wolf is. I guess another distinction to make right now is that most, I would say, to my knowledge, all composites have a grooved profile that allows you to use a hidden clip, like a biscuit style fastener with it. And look at our
Camo fastener.
episode last week about hidden fasteners to see what we're talking about there. AZEC does as well, Clubhouse does as well, most of them do, but a couple I know for sure, I think Wolf, and I think Vecca, and I think Interplast, and I think TimberTech, I don't think any of them have a groove profile.
Correct. To my knowledge as well.
Yet,
Solid
I
edge.
believe that some of them, I've heard that Vecca might be coming out with one groove profile, but
Hard to know.
so then you have to use a different system, which again, go to our hidden fastener video, just driving people towards that video. Because there's other ways to install it that are hidden. It's just you don't get the groove. What else about PVC? So Wolf, also 50-year warranty, which is amazing. Fade stain structural, no, lifetime structural on PVC usually.
Lifetime structural
Because
on PVC.
there's nothing in there to break down, so you usually get a lifetime on the structural from pretty much every brand, I think.
I would think so.
And then warranties vary from 25 to 50 years on staining.
Longer
and
than
fading.
your framing.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there from years gone by. So we get a lot of people that come in and say, I don't want Trex. I've gone to the internet and I've read a whole bunch of stuff and it's crap and it breaks apart and there's warranty claims everywhere.
And they don't want PVC because it's really slippery.
And they don't want PVC
It looks like a
because
fence.
it chalks and it's like slippery and it's like shiny and it gets like a white dust on it and it's like, oh, it's all crap. And I don't want, like, there's all this stuff out there that if you Google something, you're going to find a lot of bad information. For the most part, these issues have all been dealt with years and years ago. Check the date of the article that you're looking up. Did Trex have warranty claims? Yes, they did. But the product that they struggled with was made 15 years ago.
They got it now.
So they haven't had those flaking and failure issues with their boards since they started capping them, just like everybody else hasn't had those issues.
Yep.
So
It's fixed.
It's a non-issue. You can buy Trex. It's a great brand. Don't be scared off by an article that's dated 2002. Or you might even find somebody that today, like we get the odd person that comes in, it's like, yeah, I have a warranty claim through Trex right now, and it's 2019, but their deck is 12 years old. Like it's just, it finally is starting to show some wear and tear in there, and Trex is honoring a warranty on it. So the new stuff that's been out for the last 10 years, the cap stuff, is great.
Great.
You're not going to have problems with it. The PVC, the big thing with PVCs before was the chalking, which was kind of like, it would get like a chalky white dust on it.
Yep.
For the most part, not an issue anymore either. That's been dealt with.
Yep.
A lot of old PVCs looked like plastic planks of
Vinyl fencing.
plumbing pipe.
Yeah. Yep.
Doesn't anymore. Now there's some of the most realistic looking boards in the market. So these boards are all really, really good now. So don't be feared by the stuff you find on the internet. If you have questions, if you find something you're like, oh crap, am I making a bad decision? Send us a message. We'll help you through it.
You probably are. We'll help you.
Yeah. So now the other thing about, so installation of these products, let's talk about that a little bit. So we talked about how the groove fasteners are available for pretty much all composites and some PVCs. Other times you have to use a camo drill or plugs or face screws or hit fast nailers. Check out that episode. Some of the most notable differences are PVC boards are going to weigh a lot less, about 60% of the weight of a composite. And so when you pick up a 20-foot PVC board versus a 20-foot composite board, you will know the difference blindfolded just by sheer weight. Decorators is also quite light. I don't know how they've done it, but like it's also very light. Actually, a little bit less than most PVCs, I believe. So we just unloaded one last night. We were carrying like...
Yeah, to do squats?
we were doing some squats. We were carrying 8 or 10 12-footers at a time, 2 guys, or 4 to 5, sometimes 6 20-foot boards. You're probably not going to do that with a big, dense Trex board.
Yep.
Density. We should talk about that too. I talked about how scratch resistance on PVCs is generally better. Impact on composites is generally better.
Correct.
So if you drop something heavy, like if you're...
Bowling ball.
100%. If you're bowling on your deck...
Or walking out to your car with your bowling ball.
Yeah. Or you're carrying a hammer, or like just something heavy or blunt, like not that it can't be wrecked, but it's the impact resistance of composites, because they're so much more dense, is generally better.
Yep.
So hail would be the most likely realistic thing you're going to encounter. If you get some really good sized hail, chances are your composite will hold up. There's a chance your PVC may dent. So, yep, one's better for scratching, one's better for density.
Traction.
The other big thing to talk about, so the installation of them, screwing your boards down. PVC is really nice because you don't have to pre-drill anything. You can sink screws wherever you want in the board. You can sink it right in the end of the board, edge of the board, doesn't matter. You can
eighth of an inch
screw
from
it
the end.
everywhere.
Good.
It's okay. Composite acts a little bit more like wood. If you're going to screw into the ends, you got to stay back inch and a half. You got to pre-drill those spots. You got to stay an inch in from the edge of the boards because it will crack. It can crack.
Yep.
PVC will not crack by putting a screw at the end of the board. It'll be completely fine. So now, extreme climates, you have a whole bunch of expanded contraction. It might crack eventually.
It'll break, maybe. Maybe the board will break.
Yeah,
That happens.
from time to time. What else? There was something else I wanted to talk about. Expansion and contraction. Thermal stability between the two. So on a composite deck board, on average, across the brands, assuming they're made about the same, Decorators is again an asterisk on this whole show, but most composites will expand and contract about 1/4 of an inch on a 20-foot unfastened board in I would call it 40 degrees Celsius or about 80-degree temperature swing. So let's just call it from summer to winter, your board will shrink or grow 1/4 inch if it's not fastened down. Now, if you add some fasteners in there, it'll limit it a little bit, but it's still going to move. PVC, on the other hand, will expand and contract up to 1/2 inch on a 20-foot unfastened board. Like, it moves a lot more than composites do. But
This is the part I like the most.
you can control it more.
Yep. Composites you can't, right? You fasten
Composites,
that,
it's pretty tough, yeah.
you miter the corner and you put all your screws in. You're so proud. You take a picture. You bring your wife out. You're like, come, look at how awesome I am. This is the most amazing. And then you go out in the morning and just utter defeat. It's like, no. That was good. Come here, right? That was good,
It was
right?
good last
You remember
night. I
that?
swear it was good last night.
Yeah.
So remember we had a guy, and so PVC even more, but the more you screw a PVC board down, the more you restrict its movement. And you can also use some PVC glues, PVC biscuits and things to try to fight that miters. Success is going to be hit and miss, but there is a chance you can get that to hold together. There's probably not much chance you're getting the composite on long runs. If it's short runs on a stair, like 1 foot meets a 4 foot or something,
No problem.
you can probably get those to stay shut. 20-foot run, meaning a 20-foot run or a 16-foot run, that's going to be a tough task for either of them. So many people they're not mitering things anymore, they're running butt joints. Painting the ends. You can paint the ends of either of these. The paint will adhere. We had a customer a few years ago that was using a PVC deck board. I believe it was Clubhouse, and he had cut the board the night before, but hadn't installed it yet.
Oh, yeah.
He cut it to length, so he needed it to be 19.5 inches, let's say. Cuts the board, sets it on the deck, doesn't get to installing it, comes out the next morning, goes to put the board in. It's like 3/8 of an inch short.
Doesn't fit.
Half inch short. He's like, what happened? Like somebody snuck into my backyard last night and cut my board short.
Yeah. No, your deck
Calls
grew.
us.
You have a bigger deck
I
now.
was like, I swear, like I might be crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy. I cut that board to what it needed to be. I swear it was last night. I swear to you guys. And I need a new board, but I swear I cut that to the right length. And we're like, yeah, you probably did. Well, what happened? Nighttime happened.
Yep. Cooled off.
Sun went down, board shrunk. You should have put that one in. So if it's not fastened down, it moves quite a bit.
It seems like it doesn't grow out to the right size again either, though. For some reason.
For whatever reason, yeah.
This happens, right? It's like PVC has the ability to contract, but then you think, well, I'll just put it out in the sun on the driveway.
Maybe when it's not fastened, it would. But for sure, once you get it fastened down, it seems like it'll shrink and open the gap and then never quite ever grow back
Science.
the whole way. I don't know.
NAFTA.
Decorators, on the other hand, again, they are doing things a little bit differently. This linear extrusion thing they got going on has really helped with the expansion and contraction. So they claim less than 1/8 of an inch on a 20-foot unfastened board. So that's significantly less than both a traditional composite and a PVC. So pretty cool stuff. Still does move a little bit, but not nearly to the extent of
minimal
the others. So,
what else?
I don't know. I think we're done. Enough of that.
Yeah.
That got a little hairy there for a little bit.
You've been pretty hot.
I was hoping to catch you. The whole point was to catch you. I thought, this is my idea. I'll be on it. I knew I would slip up a couple times. And now I'm so used to saying composite that I think I'll just use that from now on.
Nope.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys. The Ultimate Deck Show. This is fun for us to do. If you have any topics you want to see, we still have some brands we need to do. We need to do a Decorators YouTube show, so keep an eye out for that. If there's any other brands that you want to see, let us know and we can go through their lineup. If we don't have the samples, we're going to have to get them. So if you're a vendor that wants us to review your products, send them to us and we'll do our best at doing a bit of a review for them. But also, if you are driving anywhere and you like podcasts, we have one.
Yeah, you could listen to our
Rambling.
That's what it is.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Look it up on iTunes or Google Podcasts or Stitcher or whatever app you want to find it on. A lot of good content there too, I believe. So this has been fun for the show. I think we're done.
Yeah.
All right, until next time. Yeah, subscribe to the bottom. Subscribe, comment. We're pretty good at getting back at your comments too. So subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you in a week's time or maybe 6 months. All right, we've left ourselves no time for a podcast.
I'd like to do it inside of the 6 months.
We have 7 minutes. Let's do a 7-minute podcast.